Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping straight into something really vital if you're thinking about launching, well, anything new, really. The go-to-market strategy.
That's right. We're using a great article by Nisha Dior called Understanding Go-to-Market, Blueprint for Successful Market Penetration. It's pretty current. Published late 2024, updated just this May.
And a go-to-market strategy, or GTM. It's
Yeah.
basically the plan, right? The
Yeah.
roadmap for taking your idea and making it, real in the marketplace.
Exactly. Our mission today is to really unpack what goes into a good GTM strategy, what makes it work.
And why should you care? Well, I'll get this. There's a 2023 report, the State of Go-to-Market report.
Uh-huh.
It found that organizations with a properly defined launch process, they had a 10% higher success rate.
Which is good, right?
10% is significant.
But wait, their median revenue growth was 3 times higher than companies without a solid plan.
Wow. Okay, 3 times. That's huge.
Right. It's not just a nice to have. It tells you straight away this planning is absolutely fundamental. No kidding. So, okay, let's dive in. What exactly is a go-to-market strategy, fundamentally?
Well, Nisha Dodor puts it nicely. She calls it a planned technique to bring a new product or service to the market effectively.
So, more than just winging it.
Definitely more. It's a detailed blueprint. It covers how you'll reach your target customers, how you'll explain your product's value, basically how you'll gain traction.
And it's not just about shouting from the rooftops, is it? It's about making sure your product or service actually resonates.
Exactly. Does it connect with the right audience? Does it solve their problems better than, the other options out there?
Right. The GTM strategy is like your guide through all the complexities of entering a market.
Yeah, the article points out it forces you to answer key questions like, who are your ideal customers? Really define them.
Segmentation.
And how do you stack up against competitors? Are you the budget option, the luxury choice, the innovator?
What's your positioning?
Exactly. And then what specific marketing tactics will you use? It brings focus, avoids that scattered, throwing spaghetti at the wall approach.
And that focus is, well, it's incredibly valuable. For starters, it means you use your resources, time, money, people, much more efficiently.
Less waste, fewer risks.
Definitely. And you boost your chances of actually hitting those goals, like good sales figures, getting decent market share.
Plus, it forces you to nail down what makes you different, your unique selling proposition.
Absolutely. In a crowded market, you have to stand out. A good GTM helps you communicate that unique value clearly, build a strong position in people's minds.
Makes sense.
And importantly, it's not just a document for the shelf. A working GTM strategy gets everyone on the same page. Marketing, sales, even product development.
Ah, that internal alignment piece.
Yes, so marketing's message matches what sales is saying and maybe even informs how the product evolves based on market feedback.
Which naturally leads to smoother execution if everyone's pulling in the same direction.
You get better results, higher customer acquisition, better retention. The article really emphasizes that connection.
So the big picture goal is growth, brand awareness.
All of the above. A coordinated approach that drives growth, builds a brand, and gives you a real competitive edge.
Okay, that clarifies the what and why. Let's get into the how. How does this GTM strategy actually unfold? The article mentions phases, right?
It does. Phase 1 is absolutely crucial. Market research,
The homework phase.
pretty much. But deep homework. Collecting data, analyzing it. Really understanding market demands, what customers prefer, who the competition is.
So not just guessing, you're looking at data to see, okay, who are the specific groups within this market we should target?
Exactly. Segmenting your audience based on important criteria, demographics, needs, behaviors, whatever makes sense for your product.
It's like for a new fitness app, maybe you segment by fitness level or goals, weight loss versus muscle gain.
Precisely. Because tailoring your approach to specific segments makes your strategy way more impactful. You can't be everything to everyone, especially at launch.
Okay, so research and segmentation first, then phase 2.
Phase 2 is creating a compelling value proposition.
Right. The why. Why should someone choose you?
Spot on. It's about clearly explaining how your product solves a specific problem or meets a need, and importantly, how it does that better than the alternatives.
So it's not just features, it's the benefit, the solution.
Yes, a strong value prop is the foundation for all your messaging and positioning. It's what makes you different in a way that matters to the customer.
Got it. That allows you to tailor messages that really hit home for your target audience. Makes total sense. What's next? Phase 3.
Phase 3, developing and implementing the marketing and sales strategy. This is where the rubber meets the road.
the action plan?
Kind of. You're choosing your channels, social media, SEO, paid ads, direct sales,
Yeah.
partnerships. You're setting your pricing. You're figuring out distribution. How do people actually get your product?
And the article stressed the link between marketing and sales here, didn't it?
Critically important. Marketing might generate leads, but sales needs to follow up effectively, and the messaging needs to be consistent all the way through.
Right. You don't want marketing promising one thing and sales pushing another. That breaks trust.
Absolutely. That alignment is key for a smooth customer journey, from awareness to purchase.
Okay. Research, value prop, marketing sales plan. What's the final phase?
Phase 4 is launching and monitoring performance.
So you launch, but you're not done.
Not even close. You execute the plan, sure, but then you immediately start tracking. How's it going? You need key performance indicators, KPIs.
Like website visits, conversion rates, sales numbers.
Exactly. And customer feedback is huge here too.
Yeah.
What are people saying? What's working? What's not?
So you need that feedback loop to make adjustments.
Constantly. The article emphasizes this. Continuous evaluation and iteration. The market changes. Things happen. You need to adapt. That's how you get long-term success.
Okay, so those are the phases. Now drilling down a bit more, what are the absolute key components you'd find in a solid GTM plan? Market research keeps coming up.
It's foundational, the article reiterates. Market research means understanding customer needs, market size, competitors, everything we discussed. It helps you pinpoint those target segments and their specific problems or preferences.
And building on that research is the value proposition.
Yep. Clearly stating how you solve problems or offer unique advantages. Answering that "what's in it for me?" question powerfully.
Then the marketing and sales roadmap.
Your detailed plan A, which channels, what pricing, how you distribute, the tactical execution part.
And a distinct sales strategy within that.
Right, a specific plan for how the sales team engages prospects, complements the marketing, and closes deals. Ensures consistency.
Makes sense. It's not just marketing's job or sales job, it's coordinated. What else?
Operational considerations.
Oh.
This is often overlooked, but vital. Training your sales team, setting up customer support, planning for that post-launch review. The practical stuff needed to make it work smoothly.
Right, the backstage elements.
Exactly. And finally, performance monitoring. Using those key metrics and feedback systems we mentioned to track progress, optimize, and tackle problems as they pop up.
It really sounds like all these pieces have to fit together perfectly.
They're totally interconnected. Weak research leads to a weak value prop, which messes up your marketing. It's a chain reaction. They all need to work in sync for effective market entry and growth.
Of course, no plan is perfect. The article touches on limitations too, right? What are some potential weak spots?
Well, a big one is its dependence on accurate market research and assumptions. If your initial data or understanding is wrong.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Sort of, yeah. If you misunderstand your audience or the market conditions, your whole strategy could be misaligned. Wrong message, wrong channels, poor market fit.
Ouch. Okay, that's a big risk. What else?
The market itself is always changing. Customer tastes shift, competitors make unexpected moves, the economy fluctuates.
So your beautiful plan might suddenly be outdated.
It can happen fast. You need to be ready to adapt to things you didn't foresee. Rigidity can kill a GTM strategy.
And I guess resources matter too, especially for smaller companies.
Definitely. Resource limitations are a real constraint. You might have a great plan, but if you lack the budget or the people to execute the marketing and sales activities properly.
The plan stays on paper.
Pretty much. So while it's a systematic approach, success really hinges on adapting and implementing effectively with the resources you have. It's not foolproof.
Given that need for adaptation, how do companies keep improving their GTM strategy? It can't be a one-and-done thing.
Absolutely not. The article gives some good pointers for continuous improvement.
Like what?
Well, first, leverage AI and data analytics. This is huge now. You can get much deeper insights, predict customer behavior better, personalize your outreach.
That sounds like a game changer, moving beyond basic demographics to real behavior patterns.
It really is. Another key thing is to experiment with different channels. Don't just stick to what you think works.
Try new things. SEO, email, PPC, social platforms, events.
Exactly. Test, measure, see what actually resonates with your audience right now. The landscape changes constantly.
And listen to your customers, presumably.
Critically important. Gather customer feedback through surveys, reviews, social listening, direct conversations. wherever you can get it.
That tells you what's actually working or not working from their perspective.
Precisely. It gives you those invaluable insights to make meaningful improvements.
And then use that feedback to refine your messaging. Make sure that value proposition stays sharp and relevant.
Yep. And keep an eye on the competition, too. Monitor competitor activity. What are they doing? What trends are emerging in the industry? Stay informed.
So it's really an ongoing process. Learn, adapt, refine, repeat.
That's the key takeaway. A successful GTM strategy evolves. It's not a static document. It's a living process.
Okay, let's wrap up this deep dive on go-to-market strategies. We've covered quite a bit.
We have. We defined it that essential blueprint for market entry.
Talked about how it works in phases, the research, the value prop, the marketing and sales plan, and then launch and monitor.
Unpack the key components. The research again, value prop, the roadmap, sales strategy, operations, and monitoring, all interconnected.
We also touched on the limitations, reliance on good data, the changing market, resource constraints.
And finished with the crucial need for continuous improvement, using data, experimenting, listening to customers, refining the message, watching competitors.
And let's not forget that statistic we started with, that 10% higher success rate and triple the median revenue growth for companies with a well-defined process.
That really hammers home the value, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. So to leave you with something to chew on, considering how fast markets change and how vital that continuous improvement cycle is, what are some really creative, maybe unconventional ways a company could get early feedback on a totally new, maybe even radical product or service before a big launch? Think outside the box of standard surveys or focus groups. How could you get those crucial initial insights in a novel way?
Interesting question. Lots to think about there.
Definitely. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.